Okay, good afternoon, and thanks for coming in this afternoon. As you guys know from our brief discussion right before we started recording, I'm going to talk to you guys about Run, Hide, and Fight, our new protocol here in USD 440. I'm going to start with a timeline of where we've been, just real briefly talk to you guys about that. HHS for the past 2 years here at the high school, we have been using the Run, Hide, Fight protocol. And the reason for that is my assistant principal and I, we went to a conference a few years ago where we learned about Run, Hide, and Fight. And we felt like that was going to be something that we needed to implement right away here at Halstead High School. It was a meeting in Manhattan there, a emergency management meeting. And we felt like what we were doing was rather archaic. And so we moved towards that rather quickly because I talked to my superintendent and I said, I know this isn't board policy yet, but we wanted to go ahead and move to it because we felt like the safety of our students was best served by going ahead and doing that. Got the approval from the superintendent. It was going to be a practice and not a policy, and that just means we were doing it with their approval, but it wasn't a policy yet. This year, in the fall of this year, we went to a Harvey County Emergency Management meeting, and at that Harvey County Emergency Management meeting, the superintendent and I and our administrative team started talking a lot more about Run, Hide, and Fight, and trying to get on the same page. So the first thing we had to do is get our administrative team on board here, and then move from there. Our buildings and grounds needed to be aware of it, and needed to be on board as well, and so that took a little bit of time. That first semester it took some time for sure. In January this year, we moved to developing an actual policy, and we did a first read on that policy. The Board of Education had first read on that policy in February of this year, and that did become policy, which you have in front of you, did become policy in March of the last board meeting here. So this is our crisis intervention plan, the emergency procedures. Every one of our staff members has one of these. And so, like I said, what we're talking about was a policy change there. And if you go ahead and scroll down, our intervention plan, go ahead and scroll down a little bit farther. Keep going. Okay, this is the active shooter procedure now that we have in our district. This is what we've developed over the course of the last 3 or 4 months in the event of an active shooter situation. And I know you guys as parents, patrons, would be probably have some questions about this, and at the very end of this, I'll certainly will leave time for those questions. But the active shooter procedure, everybody's a first responder. As we've talked about to our staff, everybody is a first responder. And so it's not, here's this responsibility and this responsibility. The first person to see something occur, that person is the first responder. And so we're training all our staff. We will have trained all our staff by the end of this year in using the intercom and the phone to immediately declare an active shooter situation. The number of shooters, if known, just give as much information as you can. We've done away with the code yellow, code blue, code red, those kind of things. Anybody who's a first responder that's a staff member can get on that intercom. And at BPS, HMS, and HHS, we put that in the intervention plan as to what those numbers would be. That's the first thing that we're going to train our staff to do. The second thing we're going to train them to do is call 911 immediately. Number 3 on here, all staff should respond with appropriate actions. And what we mean by that is we are empowering our staff members to respond appropriately because we've been trained. We know that time is really of the essence. We have about 4 or 5 minutes before our local police would arrive and the Harvey County Sheriff's Department. So those 3 or 5 minutes is what we're training for, and our staff has to respond quickly in the event something like this would happen. Okay, at this time I'm going to move to a video. We're going to watch about a 7-minute video. I'm going to prepare you a little bit in advance. Go ahead and move to that video. Don't push play just yet. But I'm going to warn you, this video, hey, nobody likes talking about this stuff. Nobody likes talking about this stuff. You guys don't like talking about this stuff. This is something we have to prepare for. This is a reality. of schools and really any workplace at this point. So this is a video put out by the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. And like I said, it is a little bit disturbing, but we'll talk about it at the very end. Go ahead and push play on that video.
It may feel like just another day at the office.
Yeah.
But occasionally,